You're retro trekking with the caramel apples, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet, with your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
Welcome back, Orchard Archivers. Ready for some more dog loving? Well, we've got a treat for you. Here's part 4 of our puppy love episodes that we've been featuring some fictional dogs and some real dogs that are famous in pop culture.
Yes.
As always, we are heavy into the nostalgia, so bear with us because the majority of these dogs are from the past. But before we get into it, we have a lot to share, but we would like to tell you to please go and check us out. God, I messed that up. Before we launch into our discussion this week, we just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button and visit us on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, check out our official website, RetroTrekwithTheCaramelApples.com, to see all the latest and greatest going down in the Retro Orchard. Okay, so as we mentioned, this is part 4 of our dog series. And just a real quick mention, cannot not mention it again, is the fact that Disney is having their 70th anniversary this year. And I would have to say, Kennedy, we have showcased so many Disney films or Disney characters right here throughout this because they've had a lot of dog movies. They've had a lot of dog characters that we've talked about.
Yeah.
So we're giving a shout out to Disney because they're giving us a lot of things to have fodder. We're talking about some of these dogs that were actually showcased in some of their movies and cartoons.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is so nostalgic, thinking about all the wonderful animated and even like you said, some live not live action, but like actual actors and real dogs and puppies. There's a wealth of examples of that where it's like they introduce you to these characters through pop culture and you literally fall in love. I love that.
I know, because you can generally pick a favorite, right? There's so much to choose from. You can pick a favorite and still have so much to choose from.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's so awesome.
it is. Yeah, so we get started. We are, like you said, this is part 4 of our puppy craze, our puppy love, and then all that. So, we are going to talk about an anthropomorphic character that's a dog, and that is Fleegle from the Banana Splits.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Fleegle was a bucko. Like he would talk with a lisp.
Oh my god.
And, he was kind of like the designated leader of the Banana Splits. There was 4 of them, and it was him, the dog, and Drooper.
Yep.
He was, the heck was he? Like,
Wasn't he a lion?
Yes, he was a lion. Oh my goodness, we even did an episode on it. Fried brains here.
Oh, so much has happened since then. So
I know.
That's just an excuse for us to go back and listen to our own stuff.
That's right. And you do the same, Orchard Archivers. We highly encourage it.
Yes.
But then there was Bingo, who was an orangutan.
Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm surprised that Fleegle wasn't named Bingo for him being a dog.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
But go ahead. You go on about Bingo there for a second.
And Bingo was his name. Oh. Yeah, Bingo and those big old teeth. He was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
And then your favorite, Snorky, the elephant, he was adorable.
They were, yes, so cute.
But they were very entertaining. Fleegle, they always had their little skits and stuff on their show, and always had these little funny adventures, and kids loved them. I mean, we've said this in the episode here on the podcast. We explained that we were introduced to them by the older generation, like the generation before us. Like they were at the cusp of that.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And that was heavily into their childhood. That heavily laced their childhood. So they remember watching it, and they were talking about it at work and everything. And they kept talking about banana splits. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, are you talking about literal ice cream or something? What's this conversation about? And they were like, you ain't heard of them? Apparently not. So they gave me the assignment to look them up online and then come back and tell me what I thought, and I loved it. Like right from the jump, it was like, they're nuts.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, that was your introduction, and you told me, and I'm like, wow, okay, cool, and like you said, they are very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, and like they're very, very eclectic. The whole group, there's 4 of them, but they're in their little side stars or whatever. They're co-stars, that they have other characters that they introduced into the program. But
right,
Fleegle, he still was the proclaimed leader. And he had the long ears and everything. Like, he was pretty cute. And I love that lisp that he was talking with. And he had that cute laugh that was the same voiceover that did Tigger.
Yes. Now,
Yep.
now he was a beagle, right?
I think so. Yes, he was a beagle. I know.
So bad. And I love the fact that it seems like Great Danes seem to be popular making dogs fictional characters. Great Danes, obviously beagles. We've had a couple 3 beagles so far that we've talked about. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But
and again, kids loved it, so like they were just really in tune back then with all kinds of entertainment, but like the youth focused programs that we'd stumble across and got to sit and enjoy at any given time, like they really cared about if we would like it or not as kids. And I love that because they didn't just, they just do that with everything now. Throw it together and here's your slop. It's steamy, by the way, but anyway. But they really took their time and they cared about what they would infuse into the entertainment back then. And like it resonated. Like we have our memories of that. And we're like, that was just the bee's knees.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Like we weren't really familiar with the banana splits in that era. They're a little older than us, but thanks to the internet now, you can go back and look at clips and stuff, and it's like they are absolutely nuts. They're crazy.
They are crazy.
Yeah. So thank goodness for nostalgia, right, Coop?
That's right. And if it wasn't something that was so ripe in pop culture at the time, we wouldn't be talking about it now. People are still into it.
Yep.
Things back then really seem to have the longevity. So it gives us nice memories and things that we can share with other people and even draw on other people's memories too. Because like you said, we didn't actually experience it during that time period. But we could still look at it now and enjoy it. So we're drawing attention to it and someone else can do the same.
Yeah, I miss that. I hate that that's changed so much, but that's where we're at right now.
I know. Oh.
Yes. Now we use our podcast as a platform to complain about that a time or two.
A time or two is right. So here's another one. This dog in particular. Now, I said earlier in our part 1 I mentioned that Scooby, I thought, was maybe the most popular dog that we were going to be talking about. I don't know. What do you think? This next one might actually be more popular. So let's try this again.
Okay.
So originally thought that Scooby might have been the most famous fictional dog that we were mentioning, but this one, I don't know. We'll see what you think.
Okay.
This one might be a little more, and that would be Toto for Wizard of Oz. What do you think?
Oh, I love Toto.
I know, I know.
Um, I think they're both famous in their own way, but Toto is legendary.
Yeah, and he's been around a long time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you'll catch commercials where they're referencing The Wizard of Oz, and the one element that you might pick up on quicker than anything else is a girl with her dog. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, I knew it. They're talking about Wizard of Oz, and that's Toto. Okay, cool. But he was a carrion terrier, and he was her loyal little companion. Like, he was ready to go the distance with her. When she was ready to run away, he was right there with her. He was going to go. Let's digress for just a second.
Okay.
The reason why Dorothy was trying to run away at that point is because Mr. Toto got himself into some difficulty and brought the hammer down on him. And that
Yeah.
was Mrs. Gulch. Or Miss Gulch. I think she wasn't married. Miss Gulch.
Miss Gulch.
He was in her yard and she was sick of it. So she was going to take him down and have him handled. And that just, Dorothy was beyond upset and grieving over the fact that she wanted to put her dog down. Because I believe he ended up biting her as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so, he was being a little dog and he was being mischievous and stuff. But I mean, he created the situation that made Dorothy want to leave. Mm-hmm. So if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, you know how the story goes. But it's cute because when she was in Oz, he was right there too.
Yes, he was. He was with this person.
That's right. So it's like he meant the world to her. That was her little buddy. And Toto was adorable. He really was. But that little booger, he caused some problems.
Yeah, and that was in the 1939 version with Judy Garland, but then like the 1978 version of the urban perspective of The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz.
Yes.
Like Toto, yeah. I mean, like he was a sweet little dog in that one too, or she.
Right, right.
And same thing, right there at Dorothy's side. She couldn't get away from me. So cute. Yeah, I like Terran carriers.
Yep. They're a loyal little companion, and that's the thing. There's so many dog breeds. You can pick one to your liking. You can find something that fits your personality. And it's funny too, because sometimes people, they kind of look like their animal, right?
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Sometimes that happens. It's like, was that by accident or did you purposely choose one that looked like you?
And I just said Terran carriers. It's Karen terriers. I am. My brain is fried. I don't even know.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. It happens. No worries.
Don't say that. You gave me the gateway to be nuts, so that's going to happen.
Just as long as I can dip into that as well.
Be my guest, Cooper. Misery less company.
That's right. Well, yeah, I'll be right there with you. So continuing on with part 4, as we said, and there's so many dogs still to make mention of. We have Balto. And he was a Siberian Malamute wolf. Now, if that doesn't sound like a beautiful mixture, I don't know what does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, that just sounds like a gorgeous, good looking dog. Also, we have Eight Below that starred Paul Walker. This is also a Disney movie.
Mm.
And he had several dogs that were at his side. They were Siberian Huskies, Alaskan Malamutes, and Greenland dogs.
Beautiful, beautiful creatures.
Absolutely, yes.
Especially their owner. He was a beautiful creature.
What? Kennedy.
Hey, I just call it like I see it. Can't help it.
Oh my goodness. So bad.
Yeah.
But another one to make a quick mention of is, and I'm sure there's a ton of people who could probably recite these movies front ways, back ways, sideways, slant ways, any way you want to say it, is the dog in the movie Beethoven.
No.
I do believe he was actually named after, because I haven't seen these movies, but I believe he was named after, of course, the composer Beethoven. But it'd be interesting to know the correlation. Why? Was the family big into the composer, or what was it about him, this huge Saint Bernard dog, that he was named Beethoven? Might have to watch that one of these days just to get an idea.
Yeah, I think it's available. You can stream it on a couple of the streaming platforms. But you know what? I've
Yeah.
seen it. But it
Okay.
was so long ago, though. Like, I mean, like, it was very 90s.
Oh. Okay, got you. Yes.
I mean, it was like the typical family, nice neighborhood, nice house. And
Yeah.
this is a St. Bernard, right?
Yes.
And you know how animals do. Like, that's kind of how ours is. Like they'll sit off on the far and watch you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he was, because we mentioned that about Benji too. Like he would come around and help, hopefully to get a home. He'd help humans. He'd help everyone. He's like, "Where are you, my person? Are you my human?"
Yeah.
And Beethoven did the same thing. Like he's watching this family,
Okay.
and the dad come out to get the paper, or whatever. Beethoven slipped in behind him, went in the house.
Oh. What?
Yes, he went in the house, went all the way upstairs.
What?
Yeah, he went to like one of the kids' rooms or something. They were just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And
Yeah, because the kid's not going to turn away the dog.
oh no, not at all. I think it was a little boy with their son.
Okay.
And eventually they figured out that he had made his way in the house, and then it starts the movie, starts wreaking havoc in their lives.
Oh, that is cute. So he adopted them.
Oh yeah.
That is adorable. I'll definitely have to check
Yes.
that out at one of these times.
It's good. It's pretty good. I can't remember a whole lot because it's been a long time since I'd seen it, but it is a cute movie. It's like, again, it was back in the 90s, like I think 91, 92.
Right.
But it was better than the slop that they're serving now.
It's sad because it always comes back to that. It's like we're literally existing on the retro memories that are there. And this was like some of these on our list, they resonate with our listeners because they lived during that time too. And it was important to them. And it's like we're going back to the nostalgia stores for a reason.
Yes, that's right.
Because there's just so much to choose from.
Yeah.
And I think now also there's like 8 more movies of Beethoven.
Oh my goodness, man, that's Hollywood in a nutshell. They just, we got something good here, let's just go nuts.
Yeah, like as you said, this is what you expect. Now here's one that I do remember as a child. I remember the book. It was Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Okay, yes.
And it's made a resurgence. They recently made a movie of that. And he was a bloodhound. Or possibly a Vizsla. I'm not sure if that's a Bizsla breed. I'm not familiar with that breed.
Never heard of it either.
But anyhow, it probably looks a lot like the bloodhound. But it's so cute because this story is based on the fact of Clifford started off, I believe, as a runt, and he wasn't able to go with his mom. Somehow he got left behind.
Oh, heartbreaking.
I know. And he gets adopted by the little girl. And the reason he grows so big, he gets to be, I think they said it's in between like 8 feet, 35 feet tall or something like that in the books.
What?
Yeah, he gets so big because of all the love she gives him.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I love that premise. It's like, yeah, okay, it's fictional, right? It's like not the dog love, of course, but it's like we know that doesn't happen. So it's a nice little fictional story. But the fact that they're zooming in on the love and making that the reason that he went from his little small humble beginnings to turning out being this humongous dog because his person loved him that much, that it physically manifested in him. Like, that's a cute little way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's different because, like you said, a lot of times in Hollywood and whatnot, things get repeated.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of original thoughts out there, and this is one of them. And I like that. I think that's a cute way of looking at it.
That is cute. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Coop. That's really heartwarming.
Absolutely, yes. So, I know this next one. Got Foghorn Leghorn's nemesis, friend, whatever. Barnyard Dog. Or let me try that again. Barnyard Dog. Can't say it. Barnyard Dog. There it is.
Good job.
So, again, like we've already mentioned, there's several dog breeds that we've had several repeating themes, and this is another Basset Hound.
What do you know?
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty entertaining. Like, he was a bit on the cranky side, and of course, if anybody has to deal with Foghorn, that might highly test your patience, but
Well, he was notorious for drawing lines in the sand or whatever. Like, he would draw a line, go over there. He would measure out Barnyard Dog's rope. He'd see how long it was. He'd go measure a line from there. Go over there and hit him, and then go over and stand by the line. And he'd come over yelling and barking at him.
he would.
He knew he couldn't catch him. Like, some friend, right? What a mess.
Oh, just completely ornery.
He get him going every time. Well, I mean, he hit him, so of course he's got to get a reaction. That's what he wanted. But he would outsmart him too. Like, I think there's a couple times he would move his house closer. Like, he saw what he was doing. And, like, he'd move his house closer. And Foghorn, didn't think anything about it. So he would just go over and do it again. And didn't realize that he was able to get him at that point. It's like, well, you kind of walked into the trap yourself that you set. So you kind of deserve it.
Right.
But, yeah, that was just next level. And I believe Mel Blanc talked for Barnyard Dog. That is a tongue twister.
You're doing good.
But yeah, like, I believe he talked for him. So, and we did a Looney Tunes episode, and we'd already featured Foghorn in that. So, feel free to go back and check that out. We went in depth into the Looney Tunes characters. So, hopefully you'll enjoy that.
We'll link it in the show notes.
Sounds good to me. We're rolling right along. Before we move on, here's a slight trivia question for you, and hopefully somebody will know the answer. What was Barnyard Dog's proper name?
Oh, he had a legal name, huh?
Yes, he does.
I bet it's highly stinky, too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, weigh in, Orchard Archivers. If anybody knows that, I'd like to know. Spill it.
Well, yeah, we'll let that just marinate there for a while.
Okay.
All right. So, we've talked about Disney like a billion times already, and we're not done. So, of course, you cannot have a dog show talking about great nostalgic memories of dogs, characters, without talking about Lady and the Tramp.
No, I know. Oh, that's a good one.
I think, because even we did 101 Dalmatian, right? We talked about them. They still even had their human characters in it that had faces and they talked and stuff. In this one, I don't remember if the aunt came and you could see her face because she brought the Siamese dogs. Or the Siamese cat, sorry. But the husband and wife, I don't think you really saw them much. You might have saw the baby a little bit, but this was really focused on the dogs.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Lady was a Cocker Spaniel. And the Tramp, he was a mix of a terrier and a schnauzer.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And of course you had Jock, who was Scottish. He was a Scottish terrier. He was a Lassie.
Oh.
And of course Trusty was a bloodhound.
Nice.
As his old Uncle Reliable used to say. Or no, it was his grandpappy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's my grandpappy, old Reliable.
That's funny. He's so country.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this story had all sorts of elements in it, and they had their little love story, and it's cute because she falls in love with the dog from the wrong side of the tracks type thing. She was from the upper echelon of neighborhoods, and he was not. And he had his little friends around town, but she caught his eye. And she was a pretty little dog,
Yeah.
And I remember when she was presented to the missus there of the house, she was a cute little puppy. Do you remember that?
I do.
She was a doll baby.
Yeah.
But long story short, he ends up in the pound for obvious reasons. But there's even more dogs, of course. And they had an Afghan there. I think there was a bulldog in there, of course. They have so many dogs in the pound.
Yeah. What was the Shih Tzu? Was Peg?
Yep.
Shih Tzu?
Yep. And do you remember they were records, albums, like LP size.
Yep.
And they were Walt Disney, of course.
Yep.
And there were 3 in there. And they had the pictures, they were clear records, but they had the picture collages of whatever movie was actually showcased on the record.
Mm-hmm.
And ours had Snow White, Bambi? Was that right? Bambi was the other one?
Snow White, because we had the Hi Ho, Lady and the Tramp, and I don't think it was Bambi.
Wasn't Bambi? Wow.
Our brains, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is what you get when you try to go to the real deep recesses of the mind. It's like, it's not coming. But the point of the story was, one of the records was Lady and the Tramp. So it was a full movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you could listen to it side A and side B, and it was the whole story. And we got to know it quite well. And that was just a nice collector's item. I'm not sure if they're still around. I'm thinking they are at the Rent's house. But very, very cool. And like we said, Lady and the Tramp, that was one of the ones, Mom really loved that one too.
She did.
She had a soft spot for these fictional dogs, didn't she? Discovering that about Mom.
Yeah, but not enough to make it a reality for her kids.
Oh, poor children.
That's right.
All right, so we're coming to a close of this. We got about 3 more mentions that we'd like to do. This next one, most of our listeners will definitely know, because he was the brains of the outfit. Him and Penny both. Inspector Gadget.
That's right. Brain.
Again, he was into the pantomiming, wasn't he?
Yes, hardcore.
But I believe he was a beagle and a mix of a greyhound.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And him and Penny could communicate quite well and doing their best to keep Inspector Gadget out of trouble. That was their full-time job. This poor kid and this dog, they had to keep Inspector Gadget on his toes, I guess, because he was always in the middle of mayhem. But Brain, he usually would find himself in some messes too, because he'd dress up in costumes, because he was trying to be incognito as he was following Inspector Gadget around, and he'd be
Cutest. It was just
reporting
the
back in.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Love it so much. I mean, we did do a show on Inspector Gadget, and we also featured Mad Cat in our cat talk. So, of course, Brain gets a mention.
That's right.
Of course he does.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out, Orchard Archivers.
Now, we're rolling into the last two that we're going to talk about. One more Disney. Tell you, we were rich with Disney doggies. Quick mention of you. We all know The Little Mermaid. Again, there was just a live action made.
Yeah.
Well, they had an English sheepdog in there, and he belonged to Prince Eric. And his name was Max.
Yeah.
And he knew where she was. He knew who she was, and he could find her. So, and he was trying to alert Eric. He was trying to let him know, your girlfriend's over here. The one you're looking for, she's over here. And he's like, yeah, whatever, dog. You're like, he didn't speak Max speak, right?
Right.
Yeah, so poor Max was like, I'm trying to let you know, but you're kind of thick, so never mind. But eventually, he gets the girl and Max is happy and everything. But yep, that was just one more Disney doggy that we were going to make mention of. And I believe Rizzo's got the last one.
Yes, speaking of the name Max, this movie is a really cute animated example of puppies all over the place.
That's right.
And this is The Secret Life of Pets in 1 and 2 because it has the same characters in it.
Yes.
And I do think that he is either a beagle or I think he's a beagle. His name is Max as well.
Okay, yeah.
And he's in New York City. He's with his person, and he life was great. It's just him and his person. I think her name was Katie.
Okay.
And he just loved her, and she loved him back. And the saga started where there was another, I think he was a sheepdog. His name was Duke.
Okay.
But he come to live with them. He kind of moved in because this was Max's perspective. He kind of moved in on his territory.
Oh.
Yeah, and he a little jealous because he loved Katie. He's like, she's mine kind of thing.
Uh-oh.
But it was sad because Duke, the sheepdog, they end up absorbing him. So he became part of their family. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
But Duke's person was an elderly gentleman, widow. And I think he had Alzheimer's or dementia.
Oh.
And he ended up he left the house. I don't know, how things are in the real world. He probably got taken to a facility or something. It was kind of understood that he wasn't there anymore. So I don't know if he passed or if he just got taken away. I was under the impression he had passed.
Oh, that's sad.
And you know how loyal dogs are. They were friends. Duke loved his person and they gave each other companionship. So he would go back to the house and he would wait.
Oh,
that's terrible. And then once Max found out, because Max wanted him to just blow, he was like, "No, this is my outfit. You need to go find another home."
Sure, because he didn't have all the facts.
Even Max tried to take him back to. That's how they found out what happened in Duke's world.
Oh, okay, got you.
This is Secret Life of Pets 1. So this whole thing about how they absorbed Duke, that's what it was. And then Max felt bad because then he's like, oh, his person's not around. He's waiting for somebody that's not there anymore.
Yes. Okay.
And
Okay.
then he started softening. He warmed to Duke, and Katie was more than willing to take him on. So then she had two puppies, and then
Oh.
yeah, then there's part two, and then their family grew some more. But I love those movies; they're just the cutest, and they really surrounded a lot of dogs. And there's cats in there too, little creepy cats and stuff. One of the other little dogs, I think she's a Pomeranian. Her name is Gidget.
Okay.
She's in both of them too. She's cute.
Mhm.
She has a crush on Max, so she's always like, "Oh yeah, yeah," because she's real excitable.
Oh no. Okay, got you. Yeah.
And then there's a cute Shih Tzu in the second one, Daisy,
Mm.
and she's kind of a little ghetto, you know. She's cute though, her little pom pom ponytail. They're cute. Secret Life of Pets 1 and 2 are absolutely cute movies. I love them. I can watch them on repeat.
And I like the idea, like we said, we like when there's the premise or the spin on things.
Yeah,
That just the fact that they're calling it the Secret Life of Pets. Everybody wonders what your pet thinks. Can they understand you? Like, what do they do when you're not around?
yeah.
You know. So that actually making a movie about that, you could see why that would be very entertaining
Oh yeah.
because and like you've seen both of them and you're like, I'm highly entertained. I love that. That's so fun.
That is. So yeah, they had a little joke talking about, oh, real quick. So there's a disabled dog. He's a
Okay.
beagle too, or a basset hound. He's a little grumpy grandpa type. He has like a little puppy daycare.
Oh no.
And they call him Professor Pops.
Okay.
So his back legs don't work. He has wheels for his legs, his back legs. So Professor Pops.
Oh
And
my.
he's got about 6 students, and one of them was Pickles. He's a little bulldog. He is adorable.
Oh.
Yeah, he's so cranky. Like he's like, how did I get stuck with this gig?
So it seems like there's a lot more dogs in this movie than there are anything else. Like there's other things in there, but it seems like the main characters seem to be a lot of dogs.
Yes,
Cool.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool, cool, cool.
yeah. So
That's
did we
fun.
get any hits on your trivia question for Barnyard Dog? Yeah, now I can't say it either. Barnyard Dog.
um, we'll have to check here.
Okay.
It looks like we have a winner. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, good.
The answer is P. Mandrake. That's a lot easier to say, too, isn't it?
Yeah, then his moniker.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes, P. Mandrake.
Awesome. Thank you, Orchard Archivers, for throwing that in. That is pretty ugly, but that's what it is.
Oh, wow. I mean, we have had a very, very nice time being able to expound on the dog love that is felt by so many people around the world. And we love dogs too, right? We don't
Oh,
own any, but we love dogs too.
yes.
And we can certainly see the benefit of them being around. A special shout out to the service dogs that are out there because they're really working hard. They're so cute.
They
They work
are.
so hard, and you can tell that they are about helping their person.
Yep.
That's what they
Mhm.
do, and they're good. And all the other little pets out there, they just give them a little snuggle, right? Give them a little snuggle and an extra little treat tonight.
That's nice. Yeah, I think they'd appreciate that.
That's right.
Aw.
And that's it for this apple snack. Tune in next time for more retro goodness when you visit us here again in the Retro Orchard. Feel free to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Bye for now, and thanks so much for listening.